you hear me? Great.
Yes,
Thank you.
Hear you well.
Yes, very good.
So first, I want to say thank you to Nicolai and Magdalena and SIBB for having the organization for this amazing time together. And so I'm going to share my screen. 1 second. Share. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. We could see
so, good evening. My name is Andrew Ngui. I'm the Director for the Office of Innovation and Startups here at the Greater Peoria Economic Development Council. And so we are a 5-county region in the heart of central Illinois. Most of you would have heard of Chicago. Chicago is not the center of the universe of the US. And so we'll hopefully today invite you to learn more. And so why are we here? That's a $1 trillion question. We're here to really explore the opportunities to grow your business in the United States. And so we say, welcome to Peoria, witamy if you're in Poland. We make it really easy to grow here. Today, I want to introduce the team that we have gathered together to share the insights of what is available here for you. Michael Stubbs, he is the director of the Peoria Next Innovation Center and Tech Commercialization at Bradley University. Nate Domenighini, director, gBETA Distillery Labs, our accelerator program here in the Peoria region. Amit Bhanti, CEO and co-owner and clinical director of comprehensive prosthetics and orthotics. And last but not least, Kip McCoy, who is the Vice President Innovation Studio at OSF Healthcare, one of the largest healthcare systems across the entire state. And so what is the Peoria region known for? We have significant transportation modes of transport here. We have an international port of entry. We have an international airport with direct flights from across the US and also international locations. We are in the heart of the United States. So literally, you're able to reach the majority of your customers within the Midwest and of course, the East and West Coast very, very easily. Above and beyond that, we want to welcome you to your home away from home when you land here in the United States at Distillery Labs, which is our regional innovation hub. We have co-working, we have offices and meeting spaces. We have prototyping spaces and even a test kitchen. And of course, we are running a whole gamut of innovation events. And so if you see on the right side of the page, we want to talk a little bit about the industries that are significant here. Healthcare, of course, being the focus for our event today. And of course, manufacturing, we are also the founding place for Caterpillar. It's a global company. Transportation and logistics. And of course, in the Midwest, we can't also forget agri-food and agriculture. But I want to focus in and zoom in on one particular area that may be of interest to you. It is at Distillery Labs, we're looking at the opportunity to build a smart city and a connected community. And what does this specifically mean? It means that we have the infrastructure, we're building right now, the infrastructure for technology to be able to be piloted and experimented in our region here. So, you know, if you're working on technology in healthcare, if you're working on all these different opportunities in healthcare, this is going to be exciting in the ability to scale and pilot tests here in Peoria and then to the rest of the United States. A little bit more about our ecosystem. We start from the inspiration all the way to acceleration, and then we back that up with opportunities for investments, not just from the large investment groups, but also for private investors as well, that are all hidden behind the scenes that you don't necessarily see or hear about. Healthcare facilities, we have OSF St. Francis, one area that I want to call out is the simulation center that we have here, and also the upcoming Cancer Institute. There will be proton beam therapy here, and of course, Unity Point Health, and then a number of other hospitals and healthcare systems in central Illinois. So here's what's really interesting. In healthcare, more than 30,000 people are employed here, and that's a significant number of the workforce. I'm running through this very quickly because I want to get to the heart of the rest of my team members. We're going to share a lot of exciting information with you. So this probably might be the most exciting slide because you're in good company. We have a number of healthcare startups. These are just a few that I want to highlight. Brightwater Medical, of course, with the $15 million exit in 2019. And I say, imagine your startup logo here in a year. So we invite you to consider that. And expanding to the US is easy. In most cases, it's 6 degrees of separation. Here, it's 2 degrees. So my friends landed here the week before Thanksgiving. And in 3 hours, they got to meet the mayor. And after a week with us, they decided, hey, it's easy to do business here. And so we invite you to consider this opportunity. And again, I want to invite you to come get your slice of the pie in Peoria. Thank you. And now I'm passing it on to Mike Stubbs.
Thank you, Andrew. So as Andrew mentioned, I'm Mike Stubbs, Director of Technology Commercialization at Bradley University. With that, I do no cost consultation regarding intellectual property and technology commercializations with startups through the Illinois Small Business Development Center. In addition, I have a role that's Director of Peoria Next Innovation Center, where I'm sitting now. We have 10 wet labs here and 24 office spaces. The wet labs themselves are 80 square feet. They have access to natural gas. They have hoods. We have different companies here, including Velocity Labs that was on Andrew's slide. That's a CRO here doing bioanalysis. As a startup, they moved in January and now are fully operational, and they had their full launch of business March 1st. And so in a 2-month turnaround, they went from getting a lease in the building, moving all their equipment in, getting updated electrical how they wanted it, and getting updated exhaust systems for their different mass specs. And now they are operational and generating revenue already with different contracts in the area. In addition to that, Brightwater Medical was one of the entities that they showed that started here. We also have a company called Midwest Bioprocessing Center that's developing glycans for antiviral research that just received a $1.85 million grant from the National Institutes of Health. So overall, we're a supportive, innovative center related to promoting biotechnology and technology startups, and here to support any way we can.
Next, we'll move on to Nate.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nate Domenighini. I'm the director of gBETA Distillery Labs. I work alongside Andrew quite regularly. And gBETA is really, it's a startup accelerator. It's free, non-equity based. So this was brought to town to really help out early stage startups here in the Peoria area. So my goal is to connect the founders of their startups with mentors, with potential investors and partners throughout the area, but also connect them with the resources of Generator, which has resources throughout the country. So ultimately, by the time we go through each cohort, and we do this twice a year, I'm helping 10 companies run through this program. And ultimately package their business, message their business, and prepare to go in front of investors and find those opportunities to put them in position to scale effectively, scale quickly, as well as find the right resources to help them along in any area that they may need. As we all know, with early stage startups, might find challenges in various areas and have a diverse set of problems that they're looking to solve. So it's my job to help them solve those problems as quickly as possible and connect them with the community throughout Central Illinois, allowing everybody to work together and invest in our best and brightest here.
Thank you, Nate. And next we would have Amit. Amit, I think yours.
You can hear
there
me.
you go. Amit, is your audio working?
Hold on. Apologies. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Got it. Okay. So hi, everyone. And thanks, Andrew, and Chris for inviting me. Glad to be here. So I'm obviously an entrepreneur from Peoria area. I came to Peoria as to finish my residency. I'm a prosthetist orthotist by training. Came here for my residency, and since we're talking about Peoria and how it treats its people that come in, obviously anywhere you move, it's a little bit difficult initially, and but I've you kind of start liking Peoria. It grows on you, right? And with all the ecosystem, the way it exists, and the way Andrew talked about the 2 degrees of separation, that's actually true. So, I mean, very quickly, you learn the city very well. You're able to connect with the government officials, whatever, right? EDC and all of these entities that exist to help you. And that's kind of what happened with me. So right from the get-go, when I started my practice, we started growing, and obviously growing pains, and we needed a headquarters. And just because we started talking to a few people, the whole the infrastructure of the city kind of came to help us. And I initially, having come from a different country where things work differently, I mean, I was actually blown away with the fact that there were people looking out for me to get me space. And, they did all the, groundwork for me, and really came back and presented me different options. And the city and county, everybody got involved to get me to the finishing point. When I say get me, the whole team. And with that, one location, now we have 30 clinics in 4 states, and we're continuing to grow. So that's, my story in short. But I tell everybody that, hey, I probably couldn't have done it had it not been for, my hometown. So whoever's considering, I would strongly recommend, and, let it play in Peoria, if it plays in Peoria, as they say, right? So
thank you, Amit.
Happy to answer any questions.
And next we'll have Kip.
Hi, everyone. Kip McCoy. As Andrew mentioned, I'm with OSF Healthcare. We are a 15-hospital healthcare system headquartered here in Peoria. Been here for getting close to 150 years. Really firmly rooted and planted in Peoria. We serve about 1 million patients a year through our healthcare system. And the last 6 to 7 years have really focused on innovation and what we can do to be able to transform patient care. So some of the things that we've done, we have a simulation and education center, and really is a innovation center as well that Andrew had mentioned earlier. It's a 6-story building. We have a virtual hospital here. We're able to run simulations with different companies, different startups that we've worked with, where we've installed some of their equipment in rooms and been able to really kind of put some of the technology through its paces and allow some of our providers and caregivers to get involved in that process. A few other things about OSF. We do have a venture fund. So it's now a $250 million balance sheet fund that's made over 20 investments. Just recently announced that $100 million addition that gets us to $250 million. This last tranche of money really focusing on digital solutions for the healthcare industry. I think it might have been announced today or soon. We just made our latest investment in the company called Cancer IQ that we've been working with for quite a while to do early screening for cancer patients. And what Andrew said earlier, we're making a $250 million investment here in Peoria as well with our cancer institute. So a big focus for us going forward. We do a lot of work with startups, both that come through our venture fund and others that come through other incubators and accelerators all throughout the United States and all over the world. So we've invested in companies that are global as well, some that are in Israel, the United Kingdom, for instance. And then we've had a few spin-ups of our own. I think on one of the slides for the companies Andrew had mentioned Induvo, we have a substantial endowment and research partnership with the University of Illinois system. That's really a world-class research institution in the United States that we have worked with them for a number of years on applied research projects. And a lot of that has been in the augmented and virtual reality space. And we've spun up a company called Induvo that resulted from one of those endeavors. And they have kind of co-headquarters here and some space in Chicago as well. But it's a novel platform to allow for a different type of education, VR education for primarily med students initially, but working into other industries. And then it's something that we use now on a very routine basis for preoperative planning, especially for children with cardiology issues. We've also just opened a brand new headquarters building downtown where in another digital health, really a digital hospital in downtown Peoria as well. So we have about 800 employees that are downtown that are working there, that are in very close proximity across the road from Distillery Labs that Andrew mentioned. So we're really continuing to invest in the community. And more recently, what my team works on are a lot of the internal developments as well. So we're spinning up new products and services as a healthcare organization and really looking for potential partners for that as well. So there's a lot that we've done over the last 6 or 7 years to not only continuing to invest in Peoria, we're in a number of other communities with our 15 hospitals. So we actually stretch from almost north to nearly south within Illinois, and kind of east to west. We cover a fair amount of the state, but have done a lot to do more on the product development side, as well as a lot of work with trying to partner with startups and early stage companies that would offer novel solutions for our patients to provide better care and help drive down the cost of healthcare in general.
Thank you, Kip. And Nico, back to you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, everyone. Guys, I hope you got already quick overview what's about the key players in the ecosystem. At this point, I would say we proceed as follows. Right now, we are 17 people in the conversation, and I'm pretty much sure we have some general group questions. And for next 5-10 minutes, I invite everyone to unmute, start video, and raise their hands, and I will moderate the group Q&A. And in 10 minutes, I think 10 minutes for group Q&A is enough for now. And then we will go to the breakout rooms for more individual conversations. So guys, I see some of you start already to unmute. That's great. I guess as moderator, I would start with the first question. And actually my question goes to Andrew. Andrew just mentioned that recently the Brazilian company landed in Greater Peoria. Just could you tell me about the time span, like from the intention to come to actual landing? How much time did it take? Would you say it was very fast?
Yes, very fast. So they're a 15-year-old company. Their most recent valuation was 10 million. They're in digital asset management as well as digital facilities management. And they were already in their pipeline expanding to the United States. They had a sales office in the Boston area, but you know, and again, it's all about the people you know, not just what you know, right? So this was a connection from my previous work at MIT, and they said, "Hey, we're coming to the US. We'll come visit you as well." And so I would say it's literally been a week from the time they landed on Thursday to the time they left the week after. That's when they made the decision. in 3 hours, they met. 3 hours from the time they landed, they met the mayor. Then they get to take a photo opportunity of the mayor. And then Saturday, they met the mayor again. They, connected with Kip. We connected with a number of other people all across the entire region. And they were impressed. Like Amit was saying, the ability to connect with anyone that you needed to connect with on the cell phone or through email, 24 hours notice, literally. And so, I think one thing that I would say, I think I put in one of the slides, we're in conversations with T-Mobile, and T-Mobile is from Germany. The reason why they're engaging with us is because they see that we are unified in the direction that we want to go. And so I would say to a lot of startups from and scaling startups that are looking to expand to the United States, you're not going to find a lot of places because there's so much red tape in government in all the different sectors. And so we want to make that easier for you.
Thank you. So I would like to ask our participants, guys, do you have some question you would like to ask in the group? Maybe Maciej, you have some questions about Great Peoria innovations.
Yeah, let me think a bit. Maybe the question would be more about how does the software industry look in Peoria? So in terms of, let's say, providing the software for digital solutions.
Sorry, can you explain a little bit more? What do you mean by what it looks?
So do you have any, because I understand you are partnering with startups companies, and typically they need to develop the capacity for providing the software solutions. Do you, let's say, are you involved also in connecting such startups companies with maybe potential partners with software services providers or that type of companies? Yeah.
Absolutely. So yes, we have a number of IT services companies. One of them is called Tada, and they work with a lot of businesses all across the region here and across the United States and internationally on the developing software. And of course, from a talent development perspective too, we have a School of Engineering and Technology. And so, there's the opportunities to also engage with a number of partnerships from education to IT development, software services companies, and a lot more.
And I'll add to that in terms of early stage, and you'd mentioned early stage startups, particularly with SaaS. Our first cohort, actually, just a couple of months ago that we wrapped up, actually included a SaaS developer who was creating software to help electrical engineers in terms of using algorithms to help find different parts within the building. So it was really neat to be able to see that come out here in Peoria in our first cohort, to see that need and the true benefit for that company, for it to be able to capture some resources that have helped them approach going to market here pretty soon here this spring.
Okay.
Yes, thank you for answers. In the meantime, I invite everyone to drop the LinkedIn to the chat so you could connect later, and I will start this process. So let's go through our other participants. Mati or Ben would like to know anything about
Actually, maybe I can speak up. Thanks for bringing Illinois, right? Because usually we have like the West Coast and the East Coast, and recently we had one company. We had Pennsylvania, right? But it's like from European perspective, it's like the middle is quite unknown. So thanks to SIBB and you guys for showing up here this afternoon, our afternoon or your morning. Actually, I don't see so many companies on the Berlin side, but maybe I can say usually I'm some kind of scout or pre-sales person, and I get in touch quite many medtech solutions from the Nordics, and usually they want to scale to the US. You know, the US is like holy grail because insurance systems in Europe, they are like B2G, right? So it's like you have one insurance company, and US is quite different. So what I would take from this meeting is like your contacts. So if I have any like Estonian, Swedish, or Norwegian company wanting to expand to the US, like it seems that the things are happening fast in Illinois, right? So it's the Springfield from Simpson. It's like just across, right? Or is it?
I think the Simpsons were very careful about not saying specifically which Springfield. There's okay. I think 50. I think there's 50 Springfields in the United States. I think each state has a Springfield, but there's a lot of similarities between Springfield, Illinois, and the Springfield.
It's like you are in the middle between like Chicago and St. Louis, right? It's like for the very laggard people in Europe, maybe. Sorry for being like not professional on Illinois, but it was very nice to meet you, and thanks for coming.
Yeah, we are also happy on the SIBB side that we have more and more communication with Midwest and Great Britain in general, because we understand that there is a lot happening in the US, and we really hope to bring more building companies to this region.
Nico, may I add one thing? Okay, so I am not from the United States. I'm originally from Singapore, and I lived in Toronto and Boston and now Peoria. And so as somebody that is not from the United States, I have seen the East Coast, the West Coast, and different parts of the world. And I can tell you that this place is quite something else. And, you know, I invite you when the coronavirus pandemic slows down and the borders open up, I'd love to have you come and visit, because you will see for yourself, like my friends from Brazil saw, it's a no-brainer. This place is, we want to work together. Not only do we want to work together, there's money to be made here, so.
Hey, it's quite inspirational, so I hope already